Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to try and wrap up the seats, getting them both in this vinyl and Duplicolor fabric spray gloss black. If you haven't been following along, I suggest you take a look at the playlist and start with the video prior to this one, where you see the truck carpet being removed, cleaned, and then painted with the vinyl and fabric spray. Today I'm going to do more of a how-to style video. A list of all the materials used in this video will be in the description below. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know. Hit that subscribe button, get notifications of my latest shenanigans, and join the project. Let me know what you think. Let's get started. Alright, first things first, I'm going to take the tape off anything I don't want painted, which in this case is really just these two chrome pieces. So let's start with that. Alright, now that those are masked off, let's start where we left off. Duplicolor vinyl and fabric. So let's see if we can just quickly spray this part here. I need a respirator. Let's be safe. First coat's a light coat, just trying to get it pretty much everywhere. Then we're going to go back through, give it a second coat, and the third coat will cake it on just like we did with the rest. So for now, that's the first coat on the front. Alright, so this stuff dries pretty fast. Pretty much run your fingers over it already, and it's dry. So we're going to get a second coat started right now. The idea is just keep the can the same distance away and moving at the same speed, and it should cover pretty evenly. Once the can gets towards the empty side, it's harder and harder to spray it like this. It wants to stay this way. As you start tilting it more, it stops spraying the paint. You can hear the sputtering. This can's pretty much done. So, that's actually the first full can because this one was pretty much empty when I started it. So let's get on to this one. It's getting there, it's taking shape nicely. The back is just about done. Maybe one more coat. Bottom needs 2 coats. Do this one more spray across the front here. Kind of get the fabric to go in the opposite direction. That's actually good. Alright. If we go in the opposite direction, the gray shows through. It's dry, so that's the goal. Just kind of get the fabric to go the opposite way and see if there's any untouched spots, which there are right here. So let's get that straight down. Hold this, save it first. Got to walk all the way around it, get a good look, and see where it's at. So now, we're good on that. Quick close up. All right, we've got our seats. Carpet. Like I said, if you turn this way, you can see that there's no flaws in this thing. We've got our back carpet here. And now let's get started on these. Gonna clean these off really quick, and then we're gonna get a coat of the flat on here. So this is the flat. You can tell which color they are by the caps. So if you're in the store and all they have are these shiny caps, that's the gloss. Put it next to it, you can see that one is flat, the other is gloss. So on these, we're going to give them a quick wash down. We're going to hit it with the adhesion promoter, let that dry, and then we're going to hit it with the flat. Give me a minute to wash these down, and we'll keep going. Okay, so to clean the plastic portion of these, I'm going to use the magic sauce, which is really just blue Windex. So let that soak in on this one. We'll give it a quick wipe down. So the alcohol should dry on these from the Windex, and then we should be able to get the adhesion promoter on it. So Windex is pretty good for cleaning this kind of thing, in my opinion. All right. Well, didn't touch it with the fingers. We're going to use some of this Duplicolor plastic adhesion promoter, and that should give this plastic a little more for the flat paint here to bite to. After the adhesion promoter, the flat will bond better to this plastic. So let's get started. We're going to do 3 coats of the adhesion promoter with about 3 minutes between each coat. Then we're going to let this dry for about 10 minutes, and we're going to top coat it with the flat vinyl and fabric. I've taped off what I don't want the adhesion promoter on and what I don't want the flat spray on because I've already got gloss on it. Let's get our adhesion promoter on the plastic. We're going to let that dry for 3 minutes. We're going to come right back and hit it with 2 more coats. Well, that's drying. I'm going to wash these down real quick too. So there's a little bit of Dawn dish soap on this thing, a little degreaser. and some warm water. So you get any caked up garbage off of it. Then we're going to hit it with the Windex, and that'll give me a oil-free place to shoot the adhesion promoter onto. Make sure you get in all those little nooks and crannies. Otherwise the adhesion promoter will not stick due to the water. Going to do coat two of the adhesion promoter right here. Let's get that on there. These are now dry, so let's hit them with a coat of Windex. All right. Get in these nooks and crannies. Now I'm trying not to touch it. You notice here I'm holding it on the bottom. I don't want any of the oil on my finger on these things, so I can give it the best possible chance of adhesion. Okay, let's get coat one on these. Two coats of plastic adhesion promoter from Duplicolor on the sill plates and on the kick panels. While we're doing that, I'm going to start to clean off the back panel as well. If you're wondering what all that deliciousness is, these are the broken pieces of the dash, if you can't tell. There's the vent for the window defroster. I'm going to glue these back together before I get the dash skin down. That way I have as much coverage as possible for the silicone to bond to for that piece. But for now, I've been saving them. We're going to stick them right in here. This piece is nice and dirty. Let's get some Windex on it. Talk about working yourself into a corner. All right, let's try it this way. There. And there's a crack right here that I need to actually fix. There's two cracks. There's a crack there too. For now, we're just going to clean this one, and then I have a plastic welder that I'm going to weld from the back side to make this solid again. So that'll be in another video. But right now, I just want it to be clean. All right, now you can see these cracks better. Let me bring it into the light. So right here, when I was pulling this off the back here, got a little crack right here. Pretty sure you can see that. And I got another little crack right here. You can probably see that as well. So to fix that, I picked up a plastic welding gun, which kind of heats little staple-like pieces, and you can shoot it in from the back and then put a little plastic over it or some epoxy, and it'll make it just like new again. So I'll shoot that tomorrow. For now, at least this is clean and ready to go. Let's just get this over here. All right, let's get our third coat of the adhesion promoter on the sills and on the kick panels. Respirator. And let's spray. Okay, we got 3 coats on there. We'll let those dry. We got 2 coats. Actually, let's do our second coat here. We're gonna do our second coat on the door sills. All right, we're gonna need one last coat on the door sills. Let's turn these flat black. Came out great on the carpet. Let's see how we do on the trim. Here we go. Gonna get the ends first. So I just want to get kind of a simple coat to bond, and then we'll start laying it on a little heavier in coats 2, 3, and maybe even 4. Let's see how this sticks. I'm gonna have to lift this up to get the underside. See, so that's the side that's actually gonna show. Just like do that. All right, so let that dry, and then we'll give it a second and third coat, possibly a fourth coat. Looks like it's laying down nicely. Now that this is dry to the touch, just test it in an inconspicuous place. We'll do coat 2 of the dye. All right, it's a little heavier coat, nothing too thick because you don't want it to pool up, and you definitely don't want any drips. If you hear the can start spattering or anything, pull it away because that'll definitely ruin your paint job. Now we're gonna take care of these. I'm gonna do the bottom side first, and then I'm going to flip them over and do the tops. Okay, we got great. Okay, the second coat came out fantastic. It looks really good on all 4 of the pieces here. I'm gonna throw a third coat on just for good measure, although 2 coats would probably do. I kind of like things to be more on the thicker side, so in case there's a scratch or anything like that, it has a higher likelihood of not going through. So, coat 3, let's knock it out. Respirator. And just like last time, I'm going to lift it up and do the bottom sides. All right, now we'll let these dry, clean up a little bit. And then if I have time, you can see there's no issues with adhesion. It's laying nice and flat. No bubbles or nastiness, no cracking. That's good, that's the way you want it to be. And you can see a little bit went under the tape here, but you can't tell the difference on the carpet, so that's not a big deal. We want that to be black. It's just the black, the shiny black that I used on the carpet, I think looks horrible on the plastic. To each his own. This dries a little less shiny, and it looks more like today's cars. Nice with the more flat-ish, which is almost like between flat and semi-gloss as far as the sheen goes. I don't really think there's a flat in this type of spray paint. All right, we've done coat 1 of the plastic adhesion promoter on the back plastic panel. The other 4 trim pieces that we did are over here, drying nicely. They came out fantastic. Go along with the chair and the driver's chair. Gonna let this coat dry for 3 minutes. Then I'm gonna put a second, let it dry for 3 minutes. Then I'm gonna put a third, and then we're going to do again. And then again, we're gonna coat it. We're gonna coat it again with the Duplicolor vinyl and fabric flat black. All right, it's that time. Coat 1 of the Duplicolor vinyl and fabric flat black. So if you're playing this game, this will be your I don't know, 30th drink. Let's get coat 1 on there and let it start to dry. All right. So the key to this stuff and getting a good finish is doing even coats. You don't need to pound it on there on the first one. Just get enough to get some coverage. A little slight overlap, and I'm moving fast enough to where I just kind of coat the surface. On the second one, the spots will start to fill in. We'll do it a little bit thicker, and then on the third one it'll be nice and thick but not enough to run. So your first coat should come out something like this, just like it did on the chairs and on all the other trim pieces. It's a long piece and it's straight, so it should be pretty easy to do. Let's wait the recoat time. I'm going to do this 5 minutes, and then we're going to get a second coat on. Alright, so it's been 5 minutes. We're going to test it in an inconspicuous area. It's dry to the touch. Let's get our second coat on here. Alright, this is after the second coat. If you noticed, I went a little bit slower while coming across the piece. That way a little bit more paint got onto it. On the third coat, I'm going to do the exact same thing. You don't want too much it's going to run, but you don't want too little where you're going to get stripes across the piece. So the amount that I used is a nice even coat. I've got a light on one end so I can see if anything ends up looking dry, which means I missed it, or there's too much paint on it. But as you can see, nice and clean. Let's let this dry for another few minutes. We'll test it again in an inconspicuous location and get that third and final coat onto here. I'll be right back. Alright, once again, let's run our finger along somewhere. No paint's coming off. Let's get our third and final coat of the Duplicolor vinyl and fabric spray on top of this piece, and we're going to call this one a night after that, because as you can see it's getting dark and the bugs are starting to come in my garage. Coat 3. Alright, okay, coat 3 complete. That's going to do it for part 2 of the color swap in a can video. I've got a lot of pieces done today, so let's quickly go over them. Here is the back panel for the top half of this carpet here. I backfilled a couple areas that I saw missing or needing some extra paint in the carpet. I finished off the middle and passenger chair to go along with the driver chair. We've got the 2 kick panels done. We've got the floor, the door sill plates are done. If you like these types of video, subscribe, like, leave a comment down below, let me know your thoughts. I'm going to do my best to leave all the items used or the products used to paint, clean, etc. in the description box below. And once again, thank you for watching. Check that playlist and watch my other videos.